Darth Revan event delayed because it's OP? Darth Revan's kit is going to be OP? Darth Revan journey requirements are going to be OP? All this and more. Oh boy, I'm dizzy. Oh jeez, whoa. Oh, Jesus. So we got some Darth Revan news in case you don't hawk the forums and Reddit and Twitter that I want to compile into one video because people are getting antsy. They're like, where's my Darth Revan? And just to quickly start off this video, in case you didn't see, originally a couple days ago, it was said that the Darth Revan event is being delayed, mainly because this is kind of one of their biggest, largest journey events that they've ever done in the past. What does that mean exactly? Maybe just some crazy animations, or maybe this event is going to be very difficult and they wanted to do some more testing with it, or maybe the character is just so huge that they want to make sure it's not going to break the game. Whatever the case may be, we'll talk more about the journey requirements in a second, which might scare some people. But moving on, just yesterday, it was announced that, hey, you know what? The event is going to happen on March 25th, which is Monday, tomorrow. And it's going to happen around 11 a.m. Pacific time, so sometime during the day for most US people. So you won't see, like, you know, usually get like a 12-hour window before Darth Revan comes in, like most journey events. They're just going to update the game, and boom, we're going to have the event. So hit the ground running, and I'm sure they're trying to put it out tomorrow so they can try to squeeze out whatever money for Darth Revan before the end of their fiscal year, which ends at the end of this month. Man, 2 Revans in 1 fiscal year. I bet money's good for them right now. Now, for those trying to get Darth Revan free to play, this is absolutely fantastic to get an extra 4 or 5 days to farm the characters, to gear up the characters. So more people are probably going to get Darth Revan because of this delay, potentially, depending on how hard the event is going to be and how the gear requirements are going to be, which I have some insight to share with you guys in a moment. But I do know some people that are a bit upset that more people are going to get Darth Revan as a result of this because they want another Jedi Knight Revan where so few had it and they were able to enjoy it. So, I mean, I'm more in the boat of, you know, it's probably a good thing that more people have Darth Revan because I'm always trying to help people out, and getting Darth Revan is certainly going to help you guys out. So hopefully this extra time helped you out. But, oh man, what we got to talk about now is the Darth Revan's kit impact. Now, I did a full kit breakdown. Click on the card in the top right-hand corner. But the developers this weekend, they released a whole FAQ section, frequently asked questions about Darth Revan's kit. And when you gotta write a big article about this, yeah, this character is probably gonna be very important, I think. That's the least I could say. My goodness, there's a lot of broken things with Darth Revan, but also because they threw some really powerful stuff in Basilisk Shan Fallen, a lot of scary stuff that people were freaking out over this weekend, and they have the right to freak out. Darth Revan, at the very minimum, is going to probably really give Jedi Revan a hard time, and some other teams, but I see maybe a tiny glimmer of hope that there might be some counters to Darth Revan just on paper. There might be something when reading this FAQ. I want to point out some really big points in here in case you didn't see it and talk about it. And really, the scariest part is right here. This right here shows the impact of corrupted battle meditation and how overpowered it's going to be. The question is, can Thrawn inflict fracture, Jedi Knight Revan inflict mark, Jedi Training Ray inflict expose if they have corrupted battle meditation? No. Thrawn not being able to fracture? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You take pretty much the best all-around character and potentially, I'll say potentially, nerf the biggest all-around character right there. There's kind of maybe a way around it. We'll talk about it. But if a unit has corrupted battle meditation, which keep in mind, you won't be able to cleanse corrupted battle meditation because it's going to be a lock debuff, and Basilisk Shan Fallen is going to apply every single time she's going to be taking a turn, so that's a little scary. We'll talk about that in a second. But if you have corrupted battle meditation, they will not be able to inflict debuffs when they use an active ability. Active ability meaning your basic, your special. Unique ability is a different thing. But my goodness, being able not to mark, which was the thing that annoyed the heck out of us the past several months, and not being able to fracture, one of the core components of Thrawn that makes him the ultimate control character in the game. Thrawn's gonna look like he's just breakdancing in front of Revan when he has corrupted battle meditation, and you know very well that the AI is not going to be smart and they're going to waste fracture. Oh man, that kind of hurts my soul. Now, yes, there's probably going to be corrupted battle meditation, but the strategy I'm seeing right now is that you probably got to take out Bastila Shan Fallen as fast as possible before you take out the rest of the team, or else she's going to cripple your team with this corrupted battle meditation. Or secondly, yeah, Thrawn's going to get corrupted battle meditation. His kit will lose 50% viability if that's the case, but maybe he can try to swap Terminator with something that's close to 100% so he can quickly take another turn and get out of the whole corrupted battle meditation state and use his fracture. So from an offensive standpoint, you can probably work your way around it. Thrawn's strategic enough to kind of adapt to a lot of situations, but if you don't plan accordingly or if RNG's not in your favor, Thrawn, man, he's just going to look like a street dancer on LSD if he's not going to be able to use fracture. So that's probably the biggest concern that I have right here, because a lot of people are trying to figure out counters right now, and corrupted battle meditation really limits what you can do. But luckily, what I'm seeing with the Darth Revan team is that they're going to be slow at the start and gradually scale up throughout the whole entire battle, or maybe exponentially scale throughout the battle. So you probably want a fast team that can get out there, do big damage, and try to take out Bastila Shan Fallen, if that's going to be the case, before they can start taking turns. Because it looks like the strategy, as they kind of said in their developer insight, is that they think that the most successful strategy is to get Bastila Shan to go off first. Now, this right here gives me a glimmer of hope, because when I read Darth Revan's kit, his unique ability, which allows him to constantly basically do a savior for himself nonstop. When Darth Revan's health falls below 50% health, it is equalized with the other healthiest ally. So I thought this is going to be a nonstop savior and you wouldn't be able to take him out first until you take out the rest. Well, there's kind of a glimmer of hope here, because Darth Revan needs to survive the hit and be above 50% health before the hit is landed to trigger health equalization. So there might be a window of opportunity to take out Revan before he even has a chance to do the health equalization with someone. So one of the things I'm saying is that so long as there's not corrupted battle meditation, hopefully maybe Commander Luke Skywalker with Chewbacca, C-3PO, and Han Solo might be able to open up the battle before corrupted battle meditation spreads around, do a couple big hits, and if you time it right, maybe you can take out Darth Revan before he's able to health equalize, because they do a lot of big hits with one another, and it's going to be a lot of timing, RNG, it sounds like, but there is that window of opportunity to take him out. Or, as we're going to see, maybe Boba Fett and Darth Vader will be a good counter. We'll read that in a few moments here. And then the scary side of that is that there is no limit to how many times Darth Revan can do it, versus Savior, it only happens once and that's it. Darth Revan, he can keep healing himself over and over again. If he can't time the hits right, that we just read a moment ago, he's just going to be able to keep healing himself over and over again, but that comes at the detriment of making his team weak, and it doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of healing going on. Unlike Darth Trey, where they heal a lot under a Darth Trey lead, doesn't look like there's going to be too much healing going on. Well, Darth Revan can heal himself quite a lot, but Bastila Shan too, but the rest of the team seems like they'll kind of get crippled by Darth Revan. So we're thinking very traditional, like current meta, how's it going to work against Jedi Darth Revan? And right now we're a bit worried. It looks like Jedi Revan's going to struggle. Commander Luke Skywalker, if corrupted battle meditation gets out, it looks like the CLS will struggle. And then we have all these other teams that we traditionally think are the best right now. I'm hoping there's a glimmer of hope where maybe teams that we weren't seeing for a while, they'll rise up in viability, and maybe this is where we start seeing a diverse meta once more. I'm being very hopeful right now, but I'm just trying to get our gears turning. But the question was, does each stack of ferocity count for the calculation of damage for Boba Fett's execute and Darth Vader's culling blade? Yes. So what I'm hoping that means is that, as we see with the Sith Empire getting a ton of stacks of ferocity, maybe status effect characters like Boba Fett and Vader, maybe they could do a big calling blade ability or a big execute ability and knock out characters that have stacked up ferocity. So again, you're turning their strength and you're going to make it into a weakness. Maybe we'll see Darth Vader have some sort of rise in viability, because maybe Palpatine lead in Vader might come back. Sith versus Sith, we've seen that before all last year with Darth Trey versus Palpatine. Maybe the faster your team is, the Terminator train from Palpatine, maybe that'll work in your favor to try to wipe out characters with Culling Blade and daisy chain attacks. That we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, so this is the bonkers character. When you gotta do a giant FAQ like this, you know you're gonna be in for quite the roller coaster. So this is a really important article. I'll link it down below if you want to read the rest of the stuff that I didn't point out. I just wanted to point out the big things that had people kind of a bit worried. And I'll also leave this FAQ that was done between Crumb as well as Parking Instructor. I did an interview with him before on some stuff before. very informative guy, and a lot of good questions on here, such as mods, use speed and offense, which makes sense, and some strategy and other insights. And it looks like right now, I'm a bit worried because it looks like who has the fastest Basilisk Fallen is going to determine the outcome of the match. And that might also mean who has the fastest Sith Assassin, who can make their Basilisk even faster and get corrupted battle meditation out. It seems like a lot's revolving around how fast is going to be your Basilisk Fallen. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is this tweet that Carrie did on Twitter. So really, the tweet has nothing to do with the game. She was basically asking for some Star Wars trivia questions to give to her staff for a meeting. And of course, I gotta be the cheeky one to kind of post something about, oh, ask him, what do you say when someone says hello there? What's the proper response? Now, her tweet was basically dead, but when I responded, all my Twitter followers can kind of see this tweet that Carrie had. And all of a sudden, this tweet turned into an FAQ section for Darth Revan. And we actually had a little, not sure if it's a teaser. She's saying that the time for clones has, parentheses, not yet come. Maybe it's coming, but just not yet. That's kind of exciting. But it's funny how I turned this into an FAQ section. But there's a very important tweet that Carrie put out that I told you guys on Twitter. Someone asked a question about Darth Revan's journey event and how difficult it's going to be. And Carrie said right here that she saw an interesting breakdown on Reddit of all the times we have used the words very difficult. That was a pretty close. I'll show you the Reddit page in a second, but they're saying that the analysis was pretty close. And in all seriousness, though, I can't speak to anyone's particular skill, nor do I want to try. It will be quite challenging. So that kind of makes me a bit concerned. I like Mobile Gamers comment. The skill part confuses me. It's not skill. When Chewbacca events and whatnot, it's all about luck and how long you can sit there taking punches before you can finally take a turn. If you guys watched my Chewbacca video, I basically had Boba Fett and Dengar do all the work once my whole team is blown away. So the post she's referring to is this one right here. Someone was asking if Capgas could give a hint on the difficulty. And someone said, look back at the other uses of very difficult. It has only appeared in 2 places, the Nest Galactic Bounty and the Chewie event. And that phrasing seems to be very selective. So there's concern that this event will be Gear 11 and Gear 12. And especially because I'm betting, I'm going to take the pessimistic route for a second. I'm betting that because people were predicting Darth Revan for a long time now, and they've been saving crystals and farming in advance, they kind of saw the pattern. There's a lot of people that were ahead of the game, but maybe were expecting the difficulty of Jedi Knight Revan, which was very easily. So to make Darth Revan a lot of money potentially, they're going to make this a very difficult event and turn this more into a gear wall. Now, of course, this still is a hard character to farm if you weren't preparing in advance, very well in advance, or spending money. So the concern is that this is probably going to be a Gear 12, Gear 11 event. And that's what Chewbacca was. I had like 2 Gear 12 characters and the rest were Gear 11 and one was like Gear 7. And because of that tweet and that analysis, I bumped up my characters to Gear 11. I took Canderous, I took Karth, and I took Juhani. All the Gear 11, and then of course I've always had Basilisk Fallen and HK-47 at Gear 12. So this looks like it's going to be a difficult event, and for those of you guys who spent money and got the characters, it looks like you got to get through the second hump, which is going to be a paywall for gear. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave your thoughts down below on Darth Revan. It's kind of weird. It feels like that we just went through a 6-7 month long war with Jedi Knight Revan, and now there's going to be a transition of power, and we're just kind of waiting and seeing what the effect is going to be of Darth Revan. So that's going to happen tomorrow. Get your wallets, get your characters ready, people. Darth Revan is going to be quite the roller coaster. Like if you did enjoy the video, comment down below your thoughts, and be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing. A lot of Darth Revan videos going to be coming, both how he works and counters and all that fun stuff. So I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace out!
Party Richter! Party Richter! Down, down, down.